Hi folks, Willard Sharp here with Willard Sharp Photography. In the debut video on my YouTube channel where I'll be talking about all things photography, storm chasing, and whatever else may come to mind. So on today's debut video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the solar eclipse. We are 9 days away from the eclipse as of the making of this video this Saturday morning. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about not necessarily the photography aspect of it. That'll be in video number 2. But in today's video, talk about kind of the weather and what we may expect for Eclipse Day here on April 8th. And talk about specifically the cloud cover forecasts, which you've probably seen quite a few of those rolling out on social media here over the past few days. So let's just dive right into it here. So first off, when I'm looking, I personally have been looking pretty closely at what the weather is going to be doing for Eclipse Day. I have 2 targets that I am looking at. Actually, I have 3 now that I'm looking at, and I will go to one of those targets, depending on what the cloud cover forecast, how that comes to fruition that day. So even though we are 9 days out, we can start getting some hints as to what may happen along the path of totality. So here's this morning's GFS computer run from 6Z this morning, and it does show, and this is the day of the eclipse. This is 18Z, so it'll be about 1 p.m. Central Time. So the eclipse is going to be ongoing at this point and moving its way across the country. But as you can see here on the west coast, we do have a trough of low pressure that is coming on shore. Little disturbance up here along the U.S.-Canadian border. And then a little bit of ridging here in the central portion of the U.S., kind of along the portions of the path of totality. So one thing with computer models, especially when you're basically beyond 7 days out, and here in this case we're 9 days out, models are going to change pretty drastically. And these are definitely not set in stone yet. I mean, yes, you can start seeing some trends, start getting some hints as to things that are probably going to happen, but nailing down specifics is kind of tough at this point. Case in point here, this is the early morning run of the GFS. Here was the same run, same model, just a few hours early, 6 hours earlier, coming out last night at 7 p.m. Central Time. And you can see pretty much the same features, but the placement is very different. So I'll go back and forth here. Here's 6Z and then 0Z last night. And you can see, especially with that disturbance that was up along the Canadian border last time, it was shown here in South Dakota basically. So kind of my point here is, when you're seeing especially cloud cover model data being thrown out there on the social media, take it with a big grain of salt, even at this point here, 9 days out. And I am going to show you some of these cloud cover forecasts and, kind of talk about them a little bit here as to, yeah, we can maybe start getting a few hints as to what may be going to happen at Eclipse Day from a cloud cover perspective, but it's not set in stone yet. So this first map here is an ensemble map. Basically, that means it is an average of previous computer runs, and this is an ensemble map of the on Eclipse Day. And kudos to Pivotal Weather. They threw in the path of totality here, so it's very easy to kind of get an idea of where you're planning to go and see what the forecast is going to hold. So this is an ensemble for 18Z on Monday the 8th. And you may look at this and see all these colors in here, and you're asking, what does this mean? So basically, the shades of white and light gray are less cloud cover or no cloud cover. And then as you move up here into the blues, that is 100% cloud cover. So you may be looking at this map here and going, oh my gosh, we are doomed to Eclipse Day. There are no clear patches anywhere. It's just going to be clouded out. I might as well stay home. No, that is not the case. And like I said, this is an ensemble. This is an average of several computer model runs. And it kind of shows the variability of what's going on. So as I go to the next one here, this is the latest and greatest as of this morning, the GFS cloud cover forecast. And you can see here that it's showing some, looks like lots of clouds down south in Texas, Oklahoma, into Arkansas. But you have some clear patches, basically from Missouri on up toward New England. Now, I use cloud cover forecasts quite a bit. I do astrophotography, so I'm always going out at night, shooting the Milky Way, shooting the Northern Lights, when they're out, that sort of thing. So I'm pretty familiar with these cloud cover forecasts on the models that I look at. And just as a casual observer, an observer, of these models for a very long time, this model, the GFS, it tends to overdo cloud cover just a little bit. It is pretty accurate, but especially this far out, it tends to be a little too aggressive with the cloud cover forecast. So that is something else to kind of keep in mind here too. So again, this is the 6Z, and if we look at the 0Z from last night, you can see some subtle changes. You can kind of see that low pressure here, and cloud cover down south here being generated by the trough of low pressure coming on shore in the desert southwest. It's similar but different. You see a lot of clouds along the path of totality. Again, this is as of last night, so this would have been 10 days out. So kind of the bottom line here is you can see just within a 6-hour span how different the model is, especially in the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. Now, can we glean on some possible conclusions here? Maybe. I would argue that it's still kind of early for that. Again, we're 9 days out. But if I was an eclipse watcher and I lived down here in Texas and Oklahoma and I really wanted to see the eclipse, I would probably be making a plan B or C at this point to do a little bit of traveling the weekend before the eclipse. Here's a look at it. Again, here's the GFS from last night. Here's a different model from last night, again from 0Z. This is the European model, and it is just now coming into range of the eclipse day. So again, here you can see a lot of clouds down south. I think these clouds up here are probably maybe a little aggressive here in the Midwest and Ohio Valley. Reason I say that is here's the European model's depiction of those two troughs. You can kind of see the one up north and the one down south. Again, it's having it come on shore. Now, even just a few days ago with the GFS, it had this trough quite a bit further to the east, and it has really backed off. It's a lot further west in the past several runs. So again, another difference as time goes on, and as we get closer to this event, things will kind of dial in, and I think that dialing in is maybe starting to slowly take place. But again, here with the European model, I mean, here in the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, you can see a little bit of ridging, and ridging is from high pressure, and that usually signifies some sinking air. So probably should see less cloud cover here than what this is actually depicting. So bottom line in this short introductory first video, eclipse is 9 days away. From the making of this video, the forecast will change. Try not to get hung up on cloud cover forecasts that you see out there on the social media until we're about 2, 3, 4 days out from the eclipse. So that would be as we get later into this coming week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and definitely by Sunday of next week, we're going to know or have a very good idea of where there's going to be clouds and where there's going to be clear skies. If you're going to go see the eclipse, and I recommend that you do, it is an incredible event, very rare event, so try to get out there and see it if you can. Have your primary targets. You probably should have had those already determined by this point. In case your primary targets don't work out, use this weekend to make a plan C and D, just in case. If you're really set on seeing the eclipse, have that backup plan in place. Wherever you go on Eclipse Day, there is going to be a lot of people, like-minded people like you, who are going to go out and experience this incredible event. So there is going to be a lot of traffic, a lot of congestion. So plan ahead for that. Expect slow travel the day of the eclipse, getting to your target and leaving once the eclipse is over. Places are going to be busy, gas stations, restaurants, etc. There could even be some cell phone issues, depending on how many people are in a given area. So prepare, plan on having some food, water with you. Make sure that your gas tank is filled up the day before, so you don't get caught in the congestion, with issues. Most importantly, enjoy the show. Eclipses are very rare. Solar eclipses are very rare. It's going to be quite a while before we have another one here in the U.S. So if you're planning on going to see it, just enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Experience the moment. It's going to be great. In my next episode, in episode 2, I'm going to cover some just basic eclipse photography and kind of go over some of the things that I'm planning on doing on Eclipse Day. With that, have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in the next episode.